Today, the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 56 honors the 75th anniversary of D-Day here in Port Colborne.
D-Day, it was the largest armada ever put forward, and it was the largest invasion force that was created to invade Europe and free the people of Europe and push back the tyranny.
Why do you think after 75 years it's still important to commemorate this day?
The sacrifice of our fellow Canadians that were made, it's a sacrifice that continues to go on every year, even now. Our armed forces, either on peacekeeping missions or service outside of Canada, they're protecting our interests and our freedoms, and they're trying to protect the interests and the freedoms of the individuals and the countries in which they are there. So it's our responsibility to remember.
What can you tell us about the Canadian involvement in D-Day?
There was a total of 155,000 Allied troops, and of that, 14,000 of those men were Canadian soldiers. At the end of the day, 359 Canadians paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Now, Bob, you were telling us about the trees that have been planted each anniversary. Let's talk about the one that was planted today.
Well, it's a red maple tree, and a maple tree that's symbolic of Canada. And it's going to just enhance King George Memorial Park, and I'm glad to see, and I want to thank the city of Port Colborne for providing us with that tree. And to me, it's a symbol of Canada and freedom.
Tell us a little bit about Jack McGregor.
Well, Jack's 98 years old. He joined up as a 19-year-old in 1940 and served for 5 years in the Royal Canadian Air Force. He was stationed in Yorkshire, England, and he flew Lancaster bombers. He also flew Halifaxes and Wellingtons. And he was on a raid for the Dresden raid, and also the Eagle's Nest. That's where Hitler had his hideaway up there. They bombed the railroad stations, going into there. And also, he dropped food to the people in Holland, which was so great. He also was on a Lancaster that brought back prisoners of war in Lubeck, Germany, brought them back to England. And he was with the 419 Squadron, and then he got transferred over to a Pathfinder group, the 405.
What would you like us to know about your involvement in the war?
Well, it wasn't exciting, I'll say, and it was sad. But I was always very proud to have served.
How do you feel today at still being honored after 75 years?
Well, it's very nice to be honored, and it's very nice to see so many people and still interested in the fact that so many boys lost their lives.
Thank you to all the participants today, and especially Jack McGregor, who reminded us how important it is to never forget. In Port Colborne, for The Source, I'm Brenda Schultz.